Ready to go?
You're ready.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of Sunbury Council meeting. It is April 17th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. Would you please join me for a moment of silent prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance? Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor St. John.
Here.
Mr. Grumney.
Here.
Mr. Capel.
Here.
Mrs. Cooper.
Here.
Mr. Ayer.
Here.
Mr. Martin.
Here.
Mr. Neff.
Here.
7 present. We have a quorum.
Right. We did have a meeting on April 3rd, and we're looking for a motion to approve the minutes. A motion by Mr. Neff,
Second.
second by Mr. Grumney. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Neff.
Yes.
Mr. Grumney.
Yes.
Mayor St. John.
Yes.
Mr. Capel.
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper.
Yes.
Mr. Ayer.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
7 yeas.
All right, we are on to the visitor section, of which we have none scheduled. Are there any unscheduled visitors that would like to speak with City Council? All right, thank you. All right, we are on to committee reports. We're going to start with the fire report. We have a lieutenant from the fire department here this evening that's going to support Mr. Neff. Mr. Neff, could you back him up, please?
You got it.
Thank you, sir. Floor is yours.
Good evening. My name is Kyle Stelzer. I'm a lieutenant at BST&G Fire District. I've been a lieutenant with the district for 9 years. And I have been with the district since 2007. So I'm born and raised in this area, grew up here, graduated from Big Walnut High School. So I've been around for a lot of these changes. Tonight I'm here to do the fire report. Solar eclipse came and went, and it went well. We staffed heavy during that time, split the district towards the freeway and had trucks in Sunbury as well to cover all that. No major incidents. County EMS was par for the course for the day. No major incidents happened that day. Severe weather, even today, weren't sure what we were really going to get. We need to make sure from the fire department standpoint that we're ready for power outages. With the tornado that came through in Galena, cell phone batteries, chargers, weather radio, be paying attention to all the social media, all the media out there to make sure that we're making appropriate decisions during that time. Most of our PR events for Easter were canceled this year. So we didn't have anything to attend from there. Hoping to pretty much get back to normal right now, hoping the weather cooperates with us and we don't have any major natural disasters or anything like that. Incident call volume for the first quarter of 2024 is up 6.4% from last year. That's a repeating trend right now. Annual report for 2023 is posted on the VST&G Fire District page. If you guys would like to read that, it's there at your disposal. You guys have any questions, comments for me?
Any questions or comments for the lieutenant?
Great job on the eclipse, handling the eclipse of the
Appreciate it.
outstanding.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I do want to say a big shout out to the fire department. The communication during events or even proposed events, I guess, if that, or weather events, I should say, is definitely great. I mean, you guys are staffed up, communicating, always sending emails to the board saying, hey, we're here, we're doing this, we're doing this. So the communication is definitely, it's definitely great. So good job there. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Say thank you for your service. Also, very impressed with just your presentation skills. We're hiring. I'm going to get up in front of a board like this and speak with candor, but also very confident in your material. So good job. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. For sure. All right, we're still on the committee reports. Mr. Neff, any other committee reports?
I'll add to a little bit on the board meeting, in case anybody does hear it. There was some conversation, although the second station is obviously moving forward. there's conversation on how we're going to, what apparatuses and where. So that's still being discussed. Obviously, there's a lot of development that's gonna be occurring down by the freeway or out by the freeway. So that's something to look into as to how we're gonna, where the apparatus is gonna go, so which stations. Other than that, you got it all, man. Thank you.
Mr. Morgan.
I don't have any.
All right, Ms. Cooper.
I thought this was visitor. I thought it was report time.
It is committee reports.
Oh, I was waiting on the police and all that. I'm so.
No problem.
It's his first meeting.
It's been a long month this week.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I attended the Morpsey Commission Transportation Policy Committee meeting virtually last week. And it's kind of neat. One of the things that they do is they offer these monthly, they share these monthly membership benefits that all the municipalities have just by being a member of Morpsey. And so this one was, we have a membership to the Council of Development Finance Agencies. I'm not sure if Ms. Stefan is familiar with that. We can talk offline later, but it had a ton of benefits with finance stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm going to bring this up at the meeting and let Dana know about it. And then something else that was interesting was May 6th through the 10th is Air Quality Awareness Week. And Morpsey has a proclamation that they're willing to help municipalities adapt for them if the city chooses to make a Air Quality Awareness Week proclamation. So I think Mr. Hennessy was attending these meetings prior, and then I asked him if I could attend, and he said, yep, and I've really been enjoying them. So thank you to Mr. Grumney for putting me on that committee, and thank you for Mr. Hennessy for letting me attend those meetings, because I really like them. I think they're really interesting and sometimes beneficial to Sunbury.
Thank you very much. Mr. Capel?
Nothing here.
Mr. Grumney?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We had a finance committee meeting this evening and had just a few things to cover. One being the fine work that Mr. Thomas does for the city of Sunbury regarding his publications and really marketing and branding the city. We all agree he's done a wonderful job. His contract is up for renewal, and I believe is there a discussion in this meeting tonight, or will be next meeting? Okay, we'll be talking about the renewal of his contract. And then we did some monthly review with Ms. Stefan regarding comparison reports as far as spending and revenue and bank and book reconciliation. So pretty efficient meeting.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Grumney. Ms. Jarrett?
I have nothing at this time.
All right, good deal. I had two, I'll call working group updates. This is not, they are not committees, but the Joint Recreation District exploratory group. We have met with Berkshire and Galena, and both are on board with taking this journey with us from an exploratory perspective to determine if a joint recreation district is feasible, understanding the challenges and align on goals. We are also working on scheduling a meeting with Trenton Township. So Galena, Trenton, Berkshire feels like a good match with it overlapping the fire district, and have a lot of good positive momentum right now. I'll keep this group updated on next steps. The other one is the Streetscape Working Group did a walking tour. That was on Monday, right? It was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
And we broke up into two different cohorts and kind of split the area around the square, identified any pedestrian safety issues, sidewalk issues, public parking. We learned a lot, that is for sure. And our next meeting, where each individual is responsible for bringing back their feedback with images and suggested improvements. And we're talking about little things, relatively little things like sidewalk repair or widening, and much bigger things like actually, redoing, a side of the square to match potentially like the east side. This group has lofty goals. I think they're all great goals, and all of the recommendations that come out of that working group will obviously come through services, finance, and city council. All right, we are on to the police report. Chief Howard.
Thank you, Mayor. You guys have the report there. There's a couple things I want to cover. I want to kind of go off what the fire department said. The We had the eclipse. It was great. We had no incidents at all. Everybody had a really good time with that, and we enjoyed running around handing out glasses, and we had a lot of positive contact for doing so. The first item there, the training for council. I think we had 5 people that are coming to that training. We've got that set for May 8th at 6 p.m. We're gonna hold that down at the Round Top where we're at now. Weather permitting, we can do it outside, but if need be, we can take it inside. Any of the admin staff that want to attend that are welcome to do so as well. And something you guys don't have, and you're probably aware, but in case you're not, the Big Walnut Local Schools has decided to put a second SRO in from Sunbury. So we're looking forward to expanding our SRO staff for the 24-25 school year. And with that being said, I'll take any questions if you have any.
Questions?
Oh, but again, great job on the eclipse. That was handled outstanding.
Thank you.
You want to talk furniture?
Yeah, I handed a paper out there that went around with the furniture that was offered to us from another agency. I think there was 13 desks. There's a lot of furniture there that's in really good shape that's going to save us plenty with furnishing our new police department. So, I mean, I guess I could just go ahead and put it out there. We'd like to thank Delaware County Sheriff's Office for fixing us up with that. And I think there's plenty of furniture there that's going to supply probably 90% of what we need, and maybe even some for the services.
I might be wrong, but did the furniture originate with Homeland Security and
Yeah.
then went to the sheriff's office and the drug task force? And now that they've moved into a new location, I think the Bixby campus.
Well, they're at a different location, but
That's right.
yeah, they won't tell where that's at, but
Okay. They're task force for a reason. Got it.
yeah.
We have their, we're getting their furniture and it's pretty high end. I mean, it's like cherry commercial grade furniture.
And it's in really good shape.
It saves thousands of dollars on
Oh,
furniture
that's
for a
great.
new build.
Yes,
It's a great story.
so we thank them for that.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions for the chief?
Is it too late to sign up for May 8th? This is the first I heard of it, so I'd like to be on that list. Thank you.
On that note, I think we might want to help Dave with his email. Good deal.
Blame Daryl since you didn't know.
Well, yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Did you know about the council meeting tonight? Did you get your packet?
Yes, I did.
See, so I apparently have figured out how to communicate with the council.
When we were the first two in here early, Dave and I, and he's like, I didn't think we were gonna have a council meeting. I must have missed the
Oh,
notification.
Oh, ouch, ouch.
So the place was still dark and the door was still locked when I got
He
here.
showed up like 40 minutes early.
Yeah.
I always do that.
Amber usually gets over here, opens the door a little sooner than I did, so.
All right. Thank you, chief. We're on to the administrator report, Mr. Hennessy.
All right, so just a couple of quick points. As the mayor indicated, the city is hiring. I've included in your packet the job posting for the assistant city administrator position. So we plan to post that one tomorrow. And you may have seen the maintenance worker and the seasonal worker positions with our maintenance team. Those were posted, I think, Friday of last week. So we're looking for 2 maintenance workers. That fills out our service team. And I think we have 3 or 4 summer seasonal positions. So those are pretty customary. And so the postings are in your packet. If you know of anybody, please share them. But they can also go on the city website and do it that way as well. Fill them out online. And then the other thing I will highlight is I did include in the packet, Preservation Parks is going to be in the town hall down on the first floor to host an event, a public house, open house, just to talk a little bit about the project that they're doing just right outside of town, 481 acres of land. They call it Perfect Creek Park. It's really pretty incredible what they're doing. So they just want to share with the public their conceptual plans, and I think just maybe get a little bit of feedback from them. So 5 to 7 next Wednesday, the 24th, if you're interested. And then I do have in my report the Galena Road, but I'm going to defer to Mr. Whited, who'll give you a breaking news report on Galena Road. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Hennessy? Comments? Thank you very much. Mr. Whited, got the engineer's report. Had two different flavors of engineer's report over the past 2 weeks. The first week, you made us cry and applause, and last week, you got the post.
Well, and I would like to follow up on that aggressive deposition. I'm here to follow up on that testimony, sir. And inform you that we have diligently followed up at the site, and I whipped the surveyors into shape, and they've got the survey back as of yesterday, and we've started on that survey, and we will compress that schedule significantly. And the design is underway, and I think that we'll have that. The young lady from Wisconsin will have that design done very quickly and well. And thanks to a call I had today, I think we may be able to expedite the construction as well. So I'm feeling pretty good about that, and hopefully will not be subject to any more of that aggressive testing.
Great.
So yeah, that's going well.
Thank you.
Feel positive about that. And the breaking flashing news as well is that I have in my hand email we got from Park Enterprises, the contractor that we got to work on the South Galena culvert installation. He says that he's completed the work aside from some cleanup work out at the site today. He just has a few things to clean up out there, as well as there was some pavement cracking outside of the confines of the actual work. He's going to talk to Jake tomorrow morning at the break of dawn. They're going to meet out there to look at maybe do some additional pavement patching work, which I think is which is definitely appropriate, and they'll talk about that. But really good news. I'm very impressed with the work they've done, and I think we've got another go-to contractor in our community in addition to Facemeyer, aka Ironside, which is really good for a community like us. We need those kind of partners in our community, so I'm happy about that. But anyway, that's our good news. We got the fund. This only happened a couple weeks ago, and it's got that back in place. And it's not an easy project. Those twin culverts, and then we discovered another pipe that was underwater during the storm. Didn't realize was there, and he was very good about not just recognizing it, taking care of it. He didn't try to charge us extras. He came up not just with a solution, but an innovative solution to take care of it. And I compliment Park Enterprises. Blake McClung is the contractor. Field superintendent was out there, and Jake Stockmaster has done really well too to work with that project. So it's gone very well, and I appreciate all the folks involved, as well as all the staff that's been involved with that in addition. So very good news.
So the road not open yet, but getting very close. Again, we'll notify council as soon as it's open.
Yeah. Who does the inspection on that?
We did. Jake and I handled it.
Okay, thank you.
And he did. We did expedite a good bit of that. There was some. I mean, not in a way that compromised integrity, but we went through there and we just rapidly responded to his request and went out there and met him instantly. And again, Jake was very responsive to that.
That's great.
And particularly in getting that AEP pull. I've never seen AEP move as fast as they did with Jake. I don't know what magic he pulled with them, but he did, and it was very impressive.
I think AEP has a live satellite on Sunbury, all the time.
Yeah. It was very good. So that's that good news. So, and you mentioned the walkability, mobility walk, and I think that was very good. And I guess I would refer to that as recognizing Sunbury as a community of opportunity. There's a lot of good things. It's a beautiful community. There's so many great things we can do, and I think that just opens our eyes to some of those things. And if we just had them, a couple of tens of millions of dollars, we could do all kinds of things, right? So that was good, and I look forward to continuing that conversation. You notice I'm not using my tablet tonight, but I've got it up here. It's just security blanket. Daryl and I continue to work on our stormwater legislation. You'll see that coming before us soon, and as well as the right-of-way legislation. Dana, I realize I owe you that I forgot to give that to you. I will do that soon. And I will acknowledge a mistake I made on the report. I forgot to update the right-of-way permits. So you'll have a longer list with the next report. That's last council meetings right-of-way permits that you have on there. You will tonight see a task order for the Columbus Street parking lot. We've kind of done some preliminary work on that. Really look forward to working on that. That will be a sustainability project. That will be a really cool project. Hopefully that will come to fruition as we hope it will, with the pervious pavement and some bioretention swales with that. Mr. Hennessy, Mr. Stockmaster, and Manuel Allman with my staff walked the streets from the previously proposed street improvement program this week, and are in the process of proposing what we think will be the modified 2024 street improvement program. We'll bring that to the next services committee, and I think we've got a good handle on that. That was a good walk despite my limping through it. But that we'll bring that forward here soon. Look, I think that'll come together pretty well. Not quite what we had put together initially, but it'll still be a very good program. I think I've covered everything on the list other than what you've got in front of you, which is the same old road stuff. We've got all kinds of other stuff going on, as you note. I could spend all night talking about those, and you're going to spend the rest of the night talking about several of them with your agenda. So I will shut up and let you ask any questions you've got.
Any questions for Mr. White? Comments?
Where are we at with the traffic calming on Sunbury Meadows? I haven't heard much about it not being.
That was initially intended to be part of the 2024 street improvement program, but since that was not funded from LPWC, they pulled that out. We'll do that as a separate project, but that is currently under design, and you'll see that before you relatively soon. And hopefully he's not going to grill me about it tonight. I can sit down.
That's why I brought it up.
But yeah, it's
Bake and bake.
in fact, if you drive, it just reminded me, I forgot to do something for the engineers designing that today. There's if you drive down the road there, you'll see the pavement mark. We called Oops out there to do some marking so he can go. And initially we we're going to go out and do a bunch of surveying for it, which is not necessary. So we just do some Oops marking. He's going to go out and record that so that we'll know, because I maybe have to do some ADA ramp work, but other than that, we're making progress on it. I do need to sit down with you and go over some of the parking stuff, maybe you and Cindy and potentially the mayor. But anyway, we need to go over some details on it, but that won't take long to put together, and we'll go through that and have that. I don't want to say a date. We'll have that relatively.
It's been 100 days.
What did he say?
Soon, yeah. Thank you.
I just had two items. These are friendly. Just letting you know. One, Columbus Street, the parking lot. Sometimes communities put in impervious pavers because like the state incentivizes them to do that. We're doing this for the right reasons. I mean, it's going to cost a lot more money to honestly run storm pipes up there. Barry Bennett's been talking about this, like generally in this area, it is the right thing to do. It reduces pollution, all those things. I'm just asking, while we're pursuing this mission, can we also just look if there's any grants out there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think that is the correct thing to do, and maybe Ms. Stefan and I can work together on that.
I'm not saying slow the progress. I never would tell an engineer to slow the progress.
I think that would be a good thing to do for sure, and we need to do it regardless, like as you mentioned, because there's no storm sewers in the area, so we'll save money by doing it, whether we have a grant or not. But I think you're right. We did. Well, I know you're right. We did need to do that. So, yes.
Let's just tell Andy Brenner, like we'll call it the Brenner brick
There you
building, brick parking lot.
Sure.
All right, good deal. That was the first one. And then for the streets program, I know you said you're going to bring back a recommendation. Can you bring us like a serve menu so we can pick and choose what we want to do?
Sure. That's kind of what we did yesterday. The way we did it yesterday was we had an a la carte menu.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
We'll leave on there the list that we had. I'll have Manuel I'll have Manuel put that together, or Andrew put that together in the way that we did that. Yes, is my answer.
Perfect, thanks.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, we will bring a recommendation, but
Right.
all of the other, all of the items will still be on the list. So if you want
Yes,
to pull some of
perfect.
those
Right,
forward,
right.
there'd still be an opportunity to do that.
And we did recognize too, as we're doing that, we
Yeah.
looked at areas that will benefit from some crack sealing that to enhance the program.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Anything else for Mr. Whited? All right.
thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, we are on to resolutions, no third readings. The next three resolutions, I believe we do need action on. Before I read them, I'm going to pass it to Mr. Hennessy.
Yeah, so we're into the second reading on this, but it's important that we get some action this evening on the next three items. So they all relate to our sanitary sewer system. The first two, the East Side Pump Station request and the Little Walnut Creek Interceptor Phase 2. What we're asking is a resolution that basically authorizes the city to submit an application to receive funding for that. Now, the funding in this particular case will be for design services only. So we're not we're not beyond that point. So that's what the first two are about. And we've talked about those in the services committee, and I think we've briefed council a little bit in terms of where those projects are. The third item in the packet is basically the construction loan for the wastewater treatment plant expansion. So what I will add is that this is to submit the application to basically receive some funding. But having said that, we still have to bid the project. We still have to identify a contractor. We still have to determine that the price is within the approved loan amount. So this is not the final step by any stretch of the imagination. This is just the next step in terms of getting us there. We do anticipate that we're bidding the wastewater treatment plant and beginning the construction on that project before the end of this calendar year.
So just as I go to read these, we will need a suspension of the rules, but no emergency, correct? Okay, thank you. All right, resolution number 2024.02. This is the second reading. Resolution authorizing City of Sunbury to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund agreement on behalf of the City of Sunbury for planning, design, and construction of an east side pump station and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan. Looking for a suspension of the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Motion by Ms. Cooper. Second by Mr. Capel. Discussion, roll call.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney.
Yes.
7 yeas.
Motion on resolution number 2024.02.
Got a motion on resolution 2024.02. Ms. Cooper,
Second.
second by Mr. Capel. Discussion, roll call.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
7 yeas.
We've got resolution number 2024.03. Resolution authorizing City of Sunbury to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund agreement on behalf of the City of Sunbury for planning, design, construction of the Little Walnut Creek Interceptor Phase 2, designated a dedicated repayment source for the loan. I'll make that motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Second by Ms. Dreyer. Discussion, roll call.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mr. Capel.
Yes.
7 yeas.
I'll make a motion on resolution number 2024.03.
Second.
We got a second by Mr. Grumney. Discussion? Roll call?
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Neff.
Yes.
7 yeas.
All right, resolution number 2024.04, resolution authorizing City of Sunbury to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund agreement on behalf of the City of Sunbury for construction of the wastewater treatment plant expansion project and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan.
Motion to suspend the rules.
We've got a motion by Mrs. Cooper to suspend the rules.
Second.
Second by Mr. Neff. Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mayor St. John.
Yes.
7 yeas.
Motion on the resolution 2024.04.
Got a motion on resolution number 2024.04 by Mrs. Cooper,
Second.
second by Mr. Neff. Discussion. Roll call.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
and Mr. Martin.
Yes.
7 yeas.
All right, we have resolution number 2024.05. Resolution, this is the second reading. Resolution accepting the Sunbury Parkway Master Plan as presented by MS Consultants and directing staff to work toward the implementation of the plan. No first readings. We're on to ordinances. No third readings. We are on to second readings. Ordinance number 2024.10. An ordinance to approve one-time correcting adjustment to the financial records of the city of Sunbury for bank versus book variances that existed prior to 2023. There are no first readings, and we are on to new and unfinished business. Columbus Street Parking Lot Task Order.
So as Mr. White had mentioned, I think the mayor just mentioned a little bit more. We're looking for action to approve a task order amendment to the master agreement that we have with CT Consultants. This task order is simply for the design and administration costs. So it's for a total of $45,700 associated with with that parking lot, the Columbus Street parking lot.
Any other discussion on what we're signing up for in this proposed task order?
I'll make the motion to approve the task order.
Got a motion by Mr. Capel to approve the task order. Second. We got a second by Mr. Grumney. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper.
Yes.
7 yeas.
All right, we're on to new and unfinished business. Mr. Chair.
I don't think I have any.
All right. Mr. Grumney. I have nothing. Mr. Capel.
Nothing here.
Ms. Cooper.
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Martin. Yeah. Gotta slow the brakes on this train.
Yeah, I am gonna slow the brakes. I did want to talk about the April 30th housing crisis meeting that the chamber is putting on at the high school. I'd like to invite everybody to attend that. The lineup, what's gonna be the 30th at 6 p.m. at the high school. While Rick Carfania there, Dave Dixon from Morpsey. What Morpsey is gonna do is they're actually gonna take the regional plan, drill it down to Delaware County, but then drill it down to the Big Walnut area in particular. So it'll be kind of interesting in how they can have their data to this area. We will have Kelsey Fox of the Delaware County Housing Alliance. We'll have a panel discussion after, so it's gonna be a pretty good time to kind of address the housing crisis in the region. So I'd like to invite everybody.
Thanks to the chamber for hosting that.
What's that?
Thanks to the chamber for hosting.
Yes. Thank you. You're welcome.
You're on the chamber board, right?
Yeah, I do sit on the chamber board.
Okay, good. But the city is not affiliated with this event.
City is not affiliated, but the city is welcome to attend.
Well,
It's open to the public.
As individual residents, we are all
It's
able
open to the
to,
public for everyone to attend, and we encourage everyone to attend.
but Damon Capel is not like the keynote speaker.
Well, as far as I know. If you wanted to, I mean, the office there, you can get up and speak whatever you want.
Good deal. Thank you for the update. I did have one item that I wanted to update everyone on. Let's go back to April 6th. I remember that day vividly. It was my wife's birthday. Started getting my watch started buzzing a lot at 6:55 p.m. And within a 2.5 hour period, I had 40 emails and over 15 voicemails related to malnourished dog fighting rings in the city of Sunbury. That's what these emails were reaching out to me. So it was everything from how can you allow this in your city to you scumbag to
That one was for me, sorry.
to please help. I did call a couple people back that left reasonable voicemails just to assure them of what was happening, where this was located, how Ohio law works, because all of these folks were from outside of the state of Ohio. That were reaching out to me. The lady that I remember talking to during the Final Four tournament was actually from Missouri. So appreciative I called, but also very surprised. And she's like, I just want something done. At that point, I think there were 600,000 views on TikTok of the now notorious or infamous video that was posted. Just a level set for anybody that does not know what I'm talking about. This happened on Kilbourne Road. There were approximately 40 dogs, primarily pit bulls, that were at a home. I don't know all the details, but I know I saw the video and I knew there was something wrong. Within the first 2 or 3 emails, because I normally don't get emails on Saturday evenings, I had called DC Wade, chief, and I were texting back and forth, and I called the sheriff's office, the non-emergency line, to say, hey, something is going wrong. Like, there's bad things happening. We need to get people out there, give me an update. By that time, the sheriff's office had already received over 200 phone calls, and they were working on a media response. They were also partnering with, this is with, again, from this video being posted until it went viral, like over 100,000 views. This is like an hour and a half. And they had already got the Humane Society involved, the dog warden. I don't quote me on this, but I think like the prosecutor's office was somehow involved at this point. So even though it did not happen in the city of Sunbury, the city of Sunbury Police Department wasn't going to like send, our response unit out and, bust down somebody's door. That's the Fourth Amendment, and right? Like, we can't do that. We can't even take our drone and fly over. I mean, there's privacy laws about that. So as much as you may have heard that the city of Sunbury is doing nothing, we were doing things just within the guidance of the Ohio law and at the pace in which we were required. Like, hey, the folks who do have jurisdiction over this, escalate and support as much as we could. That doesn't always translate on Facebook, and that does not translate onto TikTok. But what was happening was the reality of, there is the law. You can only imagine if this would have been like a false alarm, and this was not. This was a legitimate issue. But if it was a false alarm and you have this overwhelming police response, like, that violates the Constitution. So we're following the natural path. I do want folks to know this, and I was a little bit hesitant on posting this on the fly on Facebook in the middle of all this, but I wanted to take time and think about a response. If that type of activity would have happened in the city of Sunbury, what could the city of Sunbury have done? And we do have a dog, actually a companion animal ordinance, and it includes things like tethering and housing. And all of City Council has a copy of this. It was enacted in 2018. It's actually my first year on council. I remember, I will pass it to Dave to give a little bit more perspective on this in a minute, but Dave was the council member at the time that championed this. I remember worked very closely with David Breen. We had a resident, Cindy Reynolds, and I'm not going to steal all your thunder, but I do want to highlight a couple items in this ordinance that I think are very applicable. So companion animal means any animal that is kept inside a residential dwelling, and any dog or cat, regardless of where it is kept. I'm going to highlight what we have the ability to charge. Is that the right way to say it? Like, we need to make sure these standards are met. So if these conditions are not met, we can take action. Fail to provide food and drink, which is clean, of sufficient quantity, appropriately available to the animal when intended. If you fail to provide shelter from the elements, including heat, cold, wind, rain, snow, or excessive direct sunlight. The companion animal is housed outside a structured shelter, and protection must be provided that is suitable for the species, age, condition, size, type of animal. The structure must be enclosed and having a single entrance and entrance exit. The structure shall be moisture resistant, wind resistant, and of suitable size and type to allow the companion animal to stand, turn about freely, and lie in a normal position. The structure shall be made of a durable material with solid, moisture-proof floor raised at least 2 inches from the ground. Suitable drainage shall be provided so the animal has access to a dry area at all times. The shelter, cage, or pen shall be regularly cleaned and sanitized and free of insect or rodent infestation. I'm gonna go down a little bit further here. Tethers of a companion animal must be of sufficient length to allow reasonable freedom of movement. Without allowing an animal to leave the harborer's property and the area of restraint must be free of entangling objects. Tethers must be of suitable size and secured to an animal in such a manner that the animal will not be injured or choked. Strict liability is intended for the enforcement of these sections. So those are the items that we would be measuring against our law, the city's law, to determine if we are going to take action. I can't speak for the county. I can't speak for the dog warden. I'm not that familiar with Ohio Revised Code in this manner, but I do feel that we, the city of Sunbury, looking back, had good intentions in mind, and we would be able to charge and ultimately encourage prosecution if this did happen in the city of Sunbury. So that's difficult to communicate over Facebook. And as I was reading that, I just kept on having the pictures of those dogs in my mind and just how many of these code provisions would have been broken had it been in the city of Sunbury. With that said, I would like to just give Dave a minute to talk about the genesis of.
This was brought to us by a resident whose next door neighbor kept their dog outside on a chain 24/7, had a dog house that was too small for the dog. And the chain was so short, the dog couldn't even make a complete circle. Its body was longer than the chain that it was hooked to. And the dog laid out in the driveway of the house, had trouble getting in and out of the doghouse, but laid out in the driveway and cried all night long. And finally, the neighbor came to us and said, "Can somebody do something?" And so then that's when we started to investigate and look into what some options were. My daughter at the time happened to work as an animal caretaker at a dog shelter in Virginia. And so we referred to her and we asked her for suggestions, and she told us even what questions to be asking. And so Mr. Breen came up with some beautiful language in this ordinance. And we made it to where, I mean, I can't tell you how many residents of the village of Sunbury, at the time we were still a village, called me up and said, "Could you come over and see if I'm in compliance?" And it was amazing because, to the best of my knowledge, this one person was the one incident in Sunbury that was a problem. But if you're going to have a companion animal, you got to treat them like a companion, not like an animal. That's all there is to it. It's that simple. And so we were fortunate in that it got brought to our attention and it got addressed. It got taken care of. And so for the people who were so mad because the city of Sunbury didn't go out to this house in Sunbury, which, by the way, it was a Sunbury mailing address, not in the city of Sunbury. But there were a whole lot of people who were really mad at Sunbury the past couple of weeks. And we're doing what we can, but we can't go outside our jurisdiction. So, but that's kind of where this whole thing started. And it was amazing because how many people wanted to make sure they were in compliance with what was supposed to be going on here. And fortunately, all but this one house that I know of, we're in compliance and the dogs are being treated very well.
Well said. Anything else into that, Mayor? Yes, sir. Not only did we get a bunch of hate emails and whatnot, I guess I want to give a shout out to the sheriff's office. They got a lot of bad rap as well. But what they could not tell was, as they're being called all these names and they're not doing anything, and how can you let this happen? Behind the scenes, the sheriff's office and the dog warden were working on search warrants to get onto that property. They they couldn't come on and tell people, listen, calm down. We are working on this. We're working towards these warrants to remove these animals. What would have happened? They would have removed the animals themselves and they would just be somewhere else. So the sheriff's office did do a great job at what they were supposed to do, and they were aware of everything. It took time.
Totally agree with that. And we knew that Saturday night that was in flight.
Just could not share.
You can't put that on Facebook.
Right.
I mean, that requires, hey, you know what, like, we're gonna, sheriff's office is gonna probably execute a warrant tomorrow morning. So everybody's cool and like, because they would have said, no, go right now. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, we needed judges to sign off on warrants.
Right.
Or magistrates, right? So
That actually happened pretty quick.
it did, and rapidly, right? So it's the world we live in. I just wanted to give you a little peace of mind that the world here in Sunbury is still good. Right. So I have, would you like to make a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn by Mr. Martin,
Second.
second by Ms. Dreher. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Bayer,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mayor St. John.
Yes.
7 yeas, we are adjourned.
We're bright enough to go for